Hi, I'm Quiet Liz, and today is a special day. For me at least. It marks 6 years since I decided to come out, so I thought I'd make a video about that. Specifically, coming out to my then wife and kid. I'll probably make another video for my friends and work related stuff. Anyways, on to it. I decided today was no real special day in that sense 6 years ago. It was the day after I stayed up at night and contemplated whether or not I would kill myself instead of coming out. Which, I mean, it's, I think, very relatable. A lot of us go through that. I sat up and planned, I guess, I don't know, this way of killing myself that theoretically would possibly be ruled an accident and whatnot, so life insurance claims and yada yada, whatever. What matters is I couldn't come to terms with that idea. It wasn't the option for me. So I realized that for me, I needed to come out. I needed to stop because trying to convince myself that this wasn't me, that I wasn't trans, that I could be happy living the life of a dude didn't work. And so the next day I kind of thought about how I was going to present it to her. I figured it was a good time to bring it up because she just started a new job and was really excited over it, and I was happy over a job that I had just started. I thought we were both in a good place, so it's the best you could hope for, and I kind of banked on the notion of till death do us part being enough. And while logically speaking, I could accept and understand that the reality was that she might want a divorce. I still held on to that, and it helped in the moment of coming out. And I kind of fumbled through it. I was like, well, so I have to tell you about these feelings. And I brought up being curious about trying on women's clothes and like how I might be a cross-dresser, and I was trying to sell it and I swore I was doing so well. She saw right through that and was like, "No, I don't think you're a cross-dresser. I think you're going to go full on transitioning." And I was like, "Well, I don't know yet, and like I should be able to try, and like maybe this won't be a big thing, and blah, 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 blah. Bullshit after bullshit." She was right. There was no in between, there was no middle ground for me. And I got to try things out as time went on. I dressed up. I had a weekend, well, I had a day or half a day thereabouts to dress up at home and see how I felt. And that was our testing ground that we were going to have. And that was, I think that was like a couple weeks after. Honestly, at this point, I don't even remember when that was. Uh, I came clean about that not being enough and wanting more, which then led to conversations at that point about how do we tell the kid. And so we agreed that I'd research it and try to figure out stuff, and so I spent a week researching, coming up with what I was going to say, all these different possible answers to questions that a 2-year-old probably wouldn't have. But logic, like, there was no logic, there was no rationale. I mean, my kid is pretty smart in terms of figuring stuff out. And honestly, I think like all kids are, as I don't think we give kids enough credit. But what was amusing was that research in hand, paperwork, and like I had everything organized, a nice stack of papers with me just to like fumble through in case there were any questions, like any thoughts, any sort of rebuttals that were like commonplace to other people, that their experiences helped me come up with that I thought would be acceptable. And so I led with like we sat him down on the bed with us together, and I started with, so we have to tell you something. I'm not happy being a boy. I've for a long time felt like I was a girl and that I'm no longer happy, and being a girl is going to make me happy, and I don't think that's ever going to change. And then I waited. Not very long. Well, we waited, I guess I should say. And his response was, so you'll be happy? I was like, yes. Okay, can I go play now? I'm like, I have all this research, this paperwork. And you don't give it, like, you don't care about any of it. It was a very unexpected result, and while he was only 2 at the time, I do think that the parenting we had done up to that point helped a lot in that sense. And the fact that, well, still had that childlike innocence, that you don't really get things are wrong sort of innocence. And it was kind of interesting to have the two completely polar opposites as the first two people that I came out to with the intent of transitioning. And as time went on, I mean, our marriage fell apart. It's no real sugarcoating that. It's kind of funny because, like, she used to joke when we were first dating that she had lesbian tendencies and had these desires that she thought were wrong. And I was like, there's nothing wrong with that. And I never kind of like put two and two together there. Like, I wasn't trying to think, oh, well, if I transition, she's totally going to be accepting. I forgot about that. So, like, she ends up telling me, is like, look, I've tried to rationalize this, and I know that I said this, but I'm not a lesbian. And that was when we got separated, and I lived in the guest room for a while, and it was awkward. But things have gotten better. I mean, most of the time, her and I are friends. We have our moments. We have our disagreements. I mean, all friends do, all couples do, which is kind of amusing to think that while I destroyed a marriage and I lied to her, and that's. I don't know if I'll ever forgive myself for that. I'm also kind of glad I did. As much as we frustrate each other, she's one of my best friends. And I wouldn't have had that. So, while it sucks sometimes it doesn't end horribly, I guess. And she's quite happy now. Not because we're friends. Well, sometimes. I want to believe that sometimes that helps. But I've also seen her happier than she was with me, and I'm glad about that part too. That we can both be happy. That neither one of us is sacrificing our happiness. So, yeah. It's kind of funny to think it's been 6 years. I mean, well, I don't know what I mean by that, but I guess that's me coming out to her, and in a nutshell. And well, I mean, if you have any questions about that, about coming out to my kid, one, I can tell you for sure, I don't know where any of the research that I did was anymore at this point. Like, I just threw it all away when with the reaction that I got from him, so I don't have that anymore. But if you want to know more about like the finer details, so to speak, or whatever, if you have questions, feel free to leave a comment. And well, hopefully this helps, or you can relate in some way, shape, or form. In any case, I guess that's it for now, and until the next video. So, like and subscribe, stuffs if you want to see more videos, and then also just if, well, you like the video. Anyway, words fumbling. I'm gonna go now. Bye. Just leave it at that.